Hello, good afternoon, everyone. I'm just coming on live to just share reflections from Sunday and just some things to think about for this coming week. And so I'm so thankful as I reflect back on Sunday and like just the good things that our Father in heaven does for his kids. On Sunday, we had Cleo International with us and Josh Muse, who's one of the founders here, and they led us in worship. So Luke and Emmanuel were with him from Ontario, and they travel with Iris Ministries as well. So they've done a lot of worship around the world. So it was just such a blessing to have this team with us. And Josh definitely shared such an encouraging word for us and just really encouraging our hearts just in the season that we are in here in Canada, in Prince Edward Island. And so I just really left encouraged and just seeing the good things that the Father has been doing and was doing amongst us. So we encountered the beauty of the Father's affection and the power of his Holy Spirit, touching and restoring and healing and speaking in just beautiful ways, reminding us that we are seen. And like, it's so good. Like, he sees us and he is active and he's moving powerfully in these times that we're living in. And, we often only hear bits and pieces being in the country that we're in, but the world is so much bigger. And so great to be encouraged to hear that, God is on the move and there's wonderful things happening, exciting things happening that he's doing in nations around the world. And so I'm still processing all that God has done amongst us, and I've heard some really encouraging testimonies from a number of you. And so please keep sharing what God is doing in you to those around you. It's so good to share and to spread the good news of God's love and affection and what he's doing in you. And so something that I've been reflecting on from the morning, because there's just so many things. This is just a little piece. It's just on the burning bush in the story of Moses that Josh was kind of weaving through the stories that he was sharing with us. And, Moses was going about his everyday duties as a shepherd of his father-in-law's sheep, and this burning bush, gets his attention. It's burning, but it's not burning up. And so he goes to it, and, it really drew his attention. And then Josh asked the question, how many times have there been other burning bushes that Moses didn't notice because he was so busy and he was distracted with the everyday things, or he just didn't notice them. And so these burning bushes are manifestations of God showing us that he is real, that he is present, and that he hasn't forgotten us. And are we seeing them in the everyday? So for me, it's this reminder, God, open up my eyes, open up our eyes to see you in the everyday, to see you move in power, in might, in love and affection for your children, because he loves us so much. And so through this burning bush, God was showing up to call Moses to bring the people of Israel, his children, out of bondage from the Egyptians, their slave drivers. And so God, he was doing this call was out of affection and love for his children. He'd heard the cries of his children to their slave masters, at the bondage that they were under. He heard their cries for help. And so, God never stops calling us into wholeness and freedom. And it doesn't look like, we think it will. He hears what's on our hearts, and he has a much bigger purpose and a much bigger plan. And I'm sure that Moses did not expect God to show up in a burning bush in the back end of the desert, but that is where God showed up. And that's where God got his attention. So God has plans that are so much bigger than we can imagine. And I just want to encourage us this week, let's take him out of our boxes. Let's let him burn up those boxes and look for him in places that we could least expect. Let him show up and speak to us in places that maybe we think are like the back edge of the desert. Like, the desert's bad enough as it is, but like Josh was saying, the back end of the desert, like it's just this desolate, awful place. And so we never know where God is going to show up. And so will we be open to those places where those burning bushes may show up? And so I bless you this week to see God's goodness around you, even in the places that you least expect. And so Yeah, so that's just one reflection, but I just want to encourage you continue to reflect on what God has been doing. If you weren't there on Sunday, or if you want to even hear Josh's message again, it is on YouTube. It is on, of course, um, uh, Facebook. You can find the live stream from Sunday. So just encourage you if you want to hear it again, it is available for you to do that as well. So then looking ahead a little bit, this coming Sunday, the 23rd, we actually are going to take one more week to complete our Beatitude series, but we're going to do something a little different. We've done this a few times, but we want to do a question and response time with Josh and I after teaching through the Beatitudes. There's just so much there. And I know that for many of you, you've been, thinking through these things and, even pondering some questions. And so we're going to be sending out an email to solicit your questions. And I'd love to hear from you on what you've been thinking about as we've gone through this series on Matthew 5, and want to collect some of your questions beforehand. And then, of course, take some questions on Sunday morning, focus specifically on the Beatitudes in Matthew 5, and to talk through some of the things that maybe have come to mind for you. And so we're looking forward to that on Sunday. In the afternoon, of course, on Sunday coming up is Baptism Sunday at Cabot Beach at 3 o'clock. And so everyone's welcome to come out and celebrate. We have so far about 6 baptisms on that Sunday, so very exciting time. And so it's always an encouraging time to walk with people as they take this step of, going into the waters of baptism and saying, washing away the sin and washing away the bondage of our past lives, and, rising afresh and anew with Christ, and just declaring that he is Lord of our lives. And so we're excited about that this coming Sunday. And then on July 30th, the last Sunday of the month, of course, it's our barbecue Sunday, but also I know we're looking forward to hearing from our youth mission team and their time in Niagara Falls and with the YWAM base there and all that God had done amongst them. So we're excited about that. So that's at the end of the month. So mark your calendars for that Sunday. We're excited to hear about what our team experienced. And of course, today was the first day for our summer intern, Isaac Gillis. He was so excited to be here on his first day, and we're so excited that he is part of our staff team for the summer. And so lots of exciting things ahead for Isaac, and so we're looking forward to that. So that's my thought for the week and some updates, and we look forward to what God is going to do in our hearts this week leading into Sunday. So bless you and have a great week. Bye for now.